Hello YouTube. So this is my 1962 Toro power handle. Just pulled it out of the car earlier this morning and put the handle back on and got it all, ready to use somewhat. No, it does not run yet. Yeah, it does need a decent amount of attention. And reason why they call this a power handle is because this whole bracket supposedly is how this works. You can easily slip this off the clutch, and that screw comes undone back here, which threads into the base to hold it on. Obviously, you can just screw it on there and it holds that sumbitch on there. The whole thing is, get this, is that this whole piece slides off. See the brackets that hold the little grooves that hold it? Yeah, so this whole piece slides off. You could get a mower attachment, power washer, water pump if you have a flaw. You can get a generator attachment. They make a real mower attachment. They make a rotary mower. And I'm going to show what a rotary mower looks like. So a basic rotary mower is like this. That's what they call a rotary mower. It's an old term for that. I'm going to try to get a rotary mower attachment for it. No clue if it runs. It barely had any compression in it. To find out that there's gas in the oil. I think that's why it's got like no compression, because there's like no viscosity to the oil, so the rings just aren't getting a good seal. And to make sure the cylinder wasn't scored up, I did remove the spark plug and I just put some 1030 oil in there, and it did restore compression actually quite well, actually to the point where I can really pull it. So I know our cylinder, I know our piston and rings are good. The valves are definitely good. I know it's not maybe a little older looking, but it wasn't used a shit ton. Bought it new. The guy his grandfather bought it new. And as you see the power handle logo, it's really not terrible. A lot of this will buff up. Was garage capped up to a certain point. Has original red 1962 Briggs & Stratton engine. Yeah, so compression is actually really good now. I'll show you that. As you see, it's bouncing back like it should. So that means we don't have a scored cylinder or anything. So the good sign there is its compression system's good. I don't see any spark. I'm gonna check and just lay the plug on the head. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to use a spark checker, which I have them. I have about a dozen of them. But I don't feel like that right now because it's so fucking cold out here. I don't want to be out here much longer. And I knew almost positive that it's got the older style. Now you can't see it under there, but underneath the shroud, there's the coil, magneto coil pack, whatever. It's being a 62. It's gonna have the original style ignition magneto / coil that they would have used in the cast iron Briggs & Stratton engines, even though this is an extremely early example. Pretty damn hard to find a tank this clean and a whole unit itself. Oxidation is normal. This thing will clean up well. As a matter of fact, being that this whole piece comes off, I might just strip this whole fucking thing down and wire wheel it, get all the dead paint off and repaint it, redo all the original logos here. It's just a well-built unit, and to buy something of this quality today, to have the power handle where you can attach a mower to it or anything like that, I mean, not cheap. I mean, you're looking at $4,000 or $5,000 today for something like this, and I ended up with it for 25 bucks. So if the engine is B, I might just buy a new short block, because eBay has the short blocks. These little short blocks are only 85 bucks. Still in my price range. And we might be doing that because I'm seeing a lot of oil coming out of here. Now, yes, I did fill the cylinder head over full with some oil. So it is typical, but I still don't think that this head gasket should be leaking. It usually means it's overdue for a rebuild. It could be why it's got crap for compression, who knows. But I'm just looking at it over with you guys, and I'm like, I mean, it's even got the original Toro belt, which is absolutely like brand new. And even the clutch works. I mean, most of the time when you find these all froze up. To find the original chrome system that still has the original logo. I mean, the original rubber grips are still here in one piece, which is really amazing. All you do for the clutch, and you push this, I'll show you. Ready? When I push this, you can probably see that move. And there is that. So it's very simple and straightforward to start it. All you do is push it with your finger and it's engaged. And to stop the system, you just kill it like that. Your self-propelled's down here, you shove it in, put it in gear, release it, you just crack it loose here. Your engine throttle's over here. That's pretty well locked up. I actually think this is broke. I will see about getting a new cable for it. I think they'll be available being a Toro. I kind of hate going to my Ace Hardware for it because the guy's kind of snotty that runs it and hates selling me these old parts, but all he does is bitch about how I work on this old stuff. But you know what? It's because you can't appreciate it. Suck when people are like that, huh? This will clean up something beautiful. Yeah, just some discoloration, but look at the crap coming off it. I know a little Windex and that crap, this motor will look brand new. At least the shroud will. Not a bad unit, you know, for what it is. It's old enough to where it's got an air cleaner. It's pretty rare. It's an oil bath, so it's going to need oil put in there. Throttle on the carb does move. No clue if it's hooked up to fucking anything. Haven't tried taking this air cleaner off. Let's just see what we got in there. Might have some oil, might not. Oh, we got some oil. Actually, this ribbon air filter looks brand new. The guy told me it wasn't used a shit ton. So, your governor linkage. So your governor is right, air vane governor. Very simple unit. Choke butterflies down in there. If you move this, you'll see it down in the intake as this shuts and opens. It's a pretty deep intake. I do see a lot of gas in there, so that float, either needle and seat or the float itself will need to be replaced. I'm gonna restore this thing, as simple as it is. It comes apart 1, 2, 3, so I am gonna refurbish it. I am gonna strip this all down and wire wheel it, try to find some reproduction matching decals that are authentic as possible, and I'm just gonna put whatever it requires on it. Right now, I'm just gonna tighten this up so it doesn't fucking strip the fuck out. Alright, so yeah, this is actually a heavy son of a bitch for what it is. So, yeah, industrial commercial, this was considered back then. Has a gallon gas tank, where the hell you see that? And look, it's got all its original paint. Yeah, it really is clean. It just, you do this and it comes off. This needs a good scrub down, really. Even these original tires have the original, look, the rubber's not even wore off them. So, for being solid rubber, that's quite an unusual find. So yeah, it's very interesting for sure. And again, I'll show you that it does have decent compression here. Starter clutch does stick, might need a new one, don't know. It's heavy enough that you can hold it down and pull it at the same time. Oh, right there, it's got stuck on the compression stroke. Yeah, so this thing's got some immense compression, despite it's 3 horses. It's definitely not today's compression. It's the old compression where they made like a shit ton of torque. Like you could run diesel in this. That's how much compression that thing has. I know you don't do it in a gas engine. Trust me, I've never done it, but I heard it's not good for them. But yeah, so actually real quick, I don't think it's got any spark, but since it's dark out, I want to just pull the plug. It is pretty carbon fouled. I mean, it's sooty as it gets. It's more than likely it's gonna need a carb kit. I mean, they don't manufacture this tiny carburetor anymore. It's the Montgomery Award, that snowblower back there, it's got the same kind of carb on it, but it's bigger. It's got a huge carburetor versus this little one, but it's just a bigger version. And the bigger one's available aftermarket. But what's the word? No, these little ones, I know that the little ones don't exist. And I'm almost positive you can't put a different carburetor on them. Let's wipe this off once. We'll just check. I have a feeling it's not gonna fire because it's got so much goddamn oil on it, and I can't tell because he said it did run. And the only problem was that it was garage kept for a long time. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, I'm going fast enough too. There's nothing coming out of this goddamn plug. So yeah, more likely a point's clean and I'll be on its way. Yeah, there's nothing. That could mean one of two things. Either this coil is bad or it could be the plug. I mean, there's some, significant corrosion. It looks pretty beat, doesn't it? I mean, spark checker would tell me because it is probably the original plug. I'm warning you, probably is. See how long this thing is? These older plugs had this big extra porcelain neck on them. It's so when you hit this, shut it off, it shuts it off. The shorter ones didn't reach. You'll see that this line's right up. So this is the proper plug. Yeah, plugs are available of that style, of that nature. It tightens up nicely, ain't stripped, so that's good. So yeah, so I have a hard time deciding if I'm just gonna go with the solid wire in a solid state diode and go with the solid state ignition, or if I really am gonna replace the points and condenser, or just might be able to clean the points. Sometimes a good sanding and they'll fire up and run fine for another 20 years. So not that I like points, they're not reliable. In fact, in cold weather, they're sometimes they don't fire correctly. I think it's cheaper just to buy a modern solid state ignition module. They use them in cars all the time. That and all kinds of tractors and anything with a magneto. I think you can even do it on a 12-volt coil. Well, I believe so, but I could be wrong. But I know on magnetos you can. It's like your chainsaw, your lawnmower, anything that has this foot kill, you can do that on. So, because you can't wire in a kill switch. All you do is bypass the points wire, and you wire in the module. It takes about 10 seconds, and no matter how weak the coil is, they usually fire right up. So, yeah, the spark's a little weaker, but it's actually more steady. It lowers the voltage, so it extends the life of the coil. So yeah, I think we're gonna do that. I think it's made by Nova. I think Nova makes them. So apparently, even though they don't make cars, they make parts, and they make a small engine solid state ignition module we're gonna put in it, and hopefully I might clean the points and see if we get spark, but I'm just doubtful because it's sat outside for a while, and I'm getting the hint there's probably water in that condenser. I don't have new points in condenser, and I don't feel like getting a Chinese set. I've learned don't ever get a Chinese set. Try to either get new old stock or even a solid state ignition module. I learned don't get Chinese points. Yeah, they make them, but they're shit. They don't work. And sometimes you'll get as lousy as an hour before you lose spark. So that's just how they are. They want you to buy new fucking everything. They don't give a fuck. These fucking communists. Fuck them. So again, this isn't a regular machine. Screw down here. You don't see the screw down. See the screw down here? The whole thing unscrews. Whole thing slides back, and you can put it on the mower and all kinds of shit. No, this isn't a cheap unit. Of course I'm going to fix it. It's one of a kind. I'm not worried about the cost. If it needs a fucking short block, I'm gonna do a fucking short block for 85 bucks. No fucking cheaper anywhere else. eBay has them all. These little 3-horse short blocks, they're like water on there. They're just all available. So, I might. Even though it's got compression, I might have to. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm seeing all the gaskets leaking. I don't feel like having to put no gaskets in an old worn-out motor. When you can get the same exact model short block that's new old stock and still have the same quality, you don't have to paint it the color it is, but then you add the parts. You add your muffler and everything else, cylinder head, shroud, flywheel, coil, carb, and muffler, and whatever else it might need. Mount it to the base and your clutch. And to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure that this bracket is universal, and as long as I get the same sump line up and the same distance with the bolts, I may be able to just replace this whole short block. I find it cheaper personally, and yes, if they don't come with the head, you can always use the original head. They do come with gaskets, your valve cover gasket if needed for your breather. Some don't come with that, some don't have a head, some do, some don't. Yeah, I'd like to find one with a new head, but it's gonna be more money then, probably like 120. I'd really like to spend in the $85 range. I only spent $25 on this whole unit. He wanted $45. I'm like, no way, buddy. He couldn't get rid of it. And I was shocked to hear that he would take $25, and he didn't want to see it go to scrap. So, as clean as it is, and the nice guy, not only that, gave me this mower over here. Yeah, it's missing some things. The self-propelled shift linkage or whatever, shift arm's missing, but I know a lawnmower junkyard that has a mower like this, and he just keeps giving shit to me, so he just lets me have it no matter what. And I'm probably going to grab the other mower, which is a 2-stroke, but I think the engine's locked up, so, but it's the same kind of, with the blade brake clutch and the shifter, yeah, so I'm just going to pull parts off that transmission. There's some junk going around here, but if you look just to see how shiny this thing is, and it's beaming of nice paint, and just what little service it's seen, I'm not parting with this one. This is mine. Yeah, I got some crap wear in there, but that's typical. That's not chipping paint, it's just ice. But I mean, you can see the shine is just so original. It's getting damn hard to find these. And this is a Suzuki engine yet. So, well, that commercial one over there is a Suzuki, but that's a smaller Suzuki. That's a small block. Think of a V8 350 and then think of a 450. So that's like a 350 and this is like a 450. So this is like the big block and that's a small block. Yeah, imagine that versus this. Obviously, this is going to outdo it. The valve cover on this is like 100% aluminum, while that one's steel. So they made some improvements on these for sure. Yeah, it isn't locked up, but it doesn't matter how much you wind the cord. It just gets stuck down there. It's just a fucking joke. So I have to get the fucking right pull starter. Just never going to fucking be able to start it. So I'm not going to accidentally let this thing kick back on me and rip the cord out of my hand, because the root ends up fucking down there. Fucking stupid. Yeah, so obviously being the shift linkage is disconnected, but I think it will shift. No, it won't. So this is locked up. This is not exactly it is broken. A small piece here where the cable once went, and you'll see it right there, is now broken. So I have to take apart this one day and try to repair that. Should be able to. I don't see why not. The transmission is not locked up. Right now it's in neutral, but if you turn that pulley, it does turn. So it's not like it's seized or anything like that. We have the original air baffle for it here. It's this massive fucking piece of plastic, but what do you expect? It's newer. So yeah, this thing's all original. And believe it or not, this thing's straight out of the 90s. I just can't fucking believe how clean it is. So yeah, so there's that. And then obviously the Toro power handle from 1962. Again, I am going to restore this. I just don't know when. It's got one big, huge blade in it. This moves kind of like your modern snowblower, like the single stages all have. But, you know, like a much more heavier duty version with the fucking, you know, spring-loaded system. I don't know why they don't do it on new systems today. Look how simple that is and how well it works. Like, why the fuck are we using plastic when we could use this? You know? So, yeah. Okay. No clue when I'm going to get it going because the weather is just so, it's just so bitter cold. It's just so bitter cold. I don't want to do anything. So, yeah.